into the recap of a great Week 17, which kind of shifted the playoff picture. We'll start off with the biggest game of the week that happened, which was Chiefs and Bengals. We had an absolute crazy performance by Jamar Chase in that game. He really showed why he should be one of the or not if not the rookie of the year candidates on the offensive side of the ball. Um, Joe Burrow also had a great game against the Chiefs, and the Chiefs lost that number one seed to the Titans. What do you guys think about that Bengals Chiefs game?
I think it helped me gain a game on you in the game picks because we're tied now. You absolutely choked a 3-game lead. Me and Joey are now tied going into the final week. I
Shane
went 4 and
actually
1
picked the
last week.
Bengals in that game.
I did, and I went 4 and 1. Joey went 1 and 4. So that was big. But as far as the game, it looked like Kansas City was gonna have it. I mean, they were up by 2 touchdowns multiple times, and obviously we understood that Jamar Chase was a great rookie and explosive, but I don't think anyone expected that out of him. I mean, I didn't even see anyone talking about Chase breaking the record that Jefferson set in the next 2 games, and then he just beat it in 1 game. So he did it
Hmm.
in 16 games. So I guess that, I mean, it's a valid record, honestly. So, but
Yeah, I mean, but you could also throw in the fact that a lot of recency bias has been going on, and Mac Jones has also had a great season and led his team to the playoffs. But definitely, Jamar Chase has a big case to win this award, and I could definitely see him winning it.
mhm.
Um, but obviously, the Chiefs came out in the first half. It looked like they were going to handle this game pretty easily. I think it was what, like 28-14 or something like that. And then the Bengals went on a run. They came back. And then some calls in the end went in their favor. I'm not going to lie. They got down to the goal line and just kneeled and kicked the game-winning field goal. Um, well played. A great win. Now they have the third seed in the AFC. Chiefs have the second seed behind the Titans. So as of right now, unless the Titans lose to the Texans, they will have the second seed and not get the first round bye, which could actually be big because they'd have to go against a team like the Chargers, perhaps that they have played close against. So I mean, but they would be at home, and that place is electric at Arrowhead. But something to think about.
Yeah.
Alex, you got any thoughts on the Bengals Chiefs
Oh,
game?
I was gonna say it's really not that. I don't think it's that important to the Chiefs getting home field advantage because I think they're just the best team in the AFC by a bit. But for the Bengals, it's huge. You know, they won the division, which is obviously a huge thing for like Bengals fan in general, and just confidence for this young team going into the playoffs is key. Just beat a really good team.
Yeah, really big turnaround for the Bengals for sure. Joe Burrow is showing why he's going to be a great quarterback in the coming years. Um, but let's get into the probably the most interesting topic of this week 17 in that Bucks versus Jets game. Antonio Brown left the field in the middle of the game, ripping off like um all his tops, his undershirt, his jersey. He ran out with a peace sign in the air. Pretty insane. But he actually had some solid reasoning, in my opinion, today for why he obviously ran out. And I've heard some people say that he might have thought it was week 18 this week, which is kind of ridiculous, or that it was the last week of the season last week because he might not have known that there were 18 weeks. But I think that's kind of ridiculous. Um, but obviously, he said today that they were playing him through an injury that he didn't want to play through, and that's why he left. Which is pretty valid reasoning, but in my opinion, that still doesn't account for the fact that he left in that kind of way. I mean, you can leave after the game, you can do any other exit. Other than that, it's just ridiculous, and that's unacceptable to make that kind of to do that in the middle of a game. That's just terrible. What do you guys think?
I think if what he's saying is true, then I mean I think it's pretty valid what he did, and I think obviously it's a little weird to do that in the middle of a game, but that's just AB. I mean we don't know what's going on in that guy's head, so I mean, but I mean, to be fair,
That's for sure.
It did sound like he had a reason to be upset because he did have an injury in his ankle that had kept him out weeks prior, and I wouldn't think he'd be lying about not having to or not being able to play because he had uh, a bunch of incentives going into that final game or these final two games. I mean, that he could have hit for some extra cash. So I wouldn't see any reason for him not like wanting to play. I think he really was injured beyond the point of being able to come back in.
Mm-hmm.
I think I mean, obviously this is crazy, but huge impact on the Bucks too now. You know, you lose Godwin first, now you lose AB. It seems like you can't get your break with your receivers. This could be a rare, like, Tom Brady not doing well in the playoffs. You know, he's not got that many weapons as he used to. He's an old man. So I wouldn't be shocked if this doesn't go as we expected it to go in the playoffs.
Could
I
you
mean,
guys
yeah,
see the
we've
Niners?
definitely learned over the years that you can't bet against Brady, but he's lost a lot of weapons. I mean, I think his only receiving weapon right now left is maybe Mike Evans, I'm pretty sure, because Godwin is done, and then they just released Antonio Brown. So it should be interesting to see what they can do in the playoffs. Obviously, our defense is still very good this year. Shane, were you saying something?
I was going to say, do you guys think the Niners could pull off that upset? I think that would be the current matchup, Niners Bucks. So if that holds, do you think the Niners could upset the Bucks in the first round?
I don't. I really don't. I mean, I
No.
wouldn't bet against Tom anyway, especially at home. But that Niners team hasn't shown me a whole lot. And Jimmy would probably be playing through that thumb injury that he has as of right now.
Well, what if they stayed with Trey?
Then
It's over. There's no way Tom Brady's losing to a rookie.
Yeah, no,
There's
Tom's
no
not losing
way.
to a rookie in the playoffs. I don't care what team he
Yeah, but
has.
Tom's not a first round exit. He's winning this game. I can see him getting to the NFC Championship game again. To be totally honest with you.
Hey, Tom
Yeah.
lost to Nick Foles in the Super Bowl. Anything could happen.
True. But that's a Super Bowl. I don't think Tom's going to lose to him in the first round. Honestly, I expect Tom to make it to the second round, and that's where I would be concerned if I'm a Bucks fan for the back-to-back, because I just don't think their team is talented enough on the offensive end. And Tom, you know, he missed some throws too. He's getting old. It's to be expected.
Mm-hmm. All right, to get on to the next game, that had a very interesting outcome in Week 17. The Titans came out and absolutely whooped the Dolphins 34-3. Tua played a terrible game. I just want to know from you guys real quick, what do you think about Tua in the future? Do you think he's the quarterback that the Dolphins should stick with, or should they look for someone else next year?
Look for someone else. I've been saying this since the beginning of the season. He's not bad, but I'm just not impressed. This team could go a lot farther without him. That's just my honest thoughts.
I've also been saying it for a while. Tua's just not good, really. He missed so many throws last week, and
I don't see what the hype is about though, because he doesn't make extraordinary plays. He's not great with his legs, and he's not very accurate. What is?
I mean, hey, they're winning games. They're gonna probably end with a winning record. Actually,
they won games against awful teams.
Yeah, they didn't. I don't see an impressive win.
That is true, but there is something about winning the games that you're supposed to. That
I
is
understand.
a good trait about any team and quarterback. So,
which is why Tua will be a great backup.
You think they would look to draft a quarterback?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wait, they don't have the first round pick. Philly has it. They could.
In my opinion, I don't see them going for a quarterback. I don't see them taking another flyer on another quarterback. They're in a decent spot. They have a decent roster talent-wise, and I think if they can get someone like perhaps if Aaron Rodgers leaves, maybe he could go there because it seems like all these old guys love Florida. Or like a Deshaun Watson or something like that, then I would be fine with that.
Deshaun Watson that talk about him has been just constantly if they're going to trade for him, is he going to go there? And I think I like that possibility.
All right. What about the Titans? I mean, they came out here. They played a great game at home. Absolutely demolished a team that was fighting for a playoff spot. Now they have the 1 seed after actually having the most injured players, I'm pretty sure, out of any team this year, which is crazy to think about. Derrick Henry's not even back yet, and they're the 1 seed in the AFC. And if they beat the Texans, they get a bye. So what do you guys think
Wait,
about this team going into the
they had
playoffs?
more injuries than the Ravens? That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I
Well, the
think
Ravens mostly had COVID issues, I think, but
Yeah.
I think you may be able to argue that the Titans have had like the most impressive regular season out of any team. Um, I heard someone saying that the Titans didn't deserve that one seed, that they're not the best team in the AFC. And obviously, I think anyone would take the Chiefs over the Tennessee right now, but Tennessee 100% deserves that one seed. I hate to call out the person that said that, but his name is Jake Bohane. Go give him some slander. Um,
Yeah.
but they have had so many impressive wins. They crushed the Chiefs. I mean, the team that I was just comparing them against. They beat the Bills in the regular season. They had a really impressive win against the Dolphins, like we just said. And then they also had an impressive win against the Niners a week prior. And I'm probably missing a game or two, a win or two that were impressive. But to do that without your best player on offense and then having like injury battles, like Joey said, missing AJ Brown for a big chunk of the year, missing Julio Jones. I mean, the fact that they were able to do that, and especially their defense, which going into the season we all thought was going to be very weak. So I think they do deserve that one seed, and they're going to be scary if they get an extra week bye with Derrick Henry coming back for sure.
yeah, I think you got to give a lot of praise to the coaching staff of the Titans. I mean, Mike Vrabel, in my opinion, should be up there for Coach of the Year after what he's done this year with the limits he's had roster wise this year and still won those big games. Um, but I definitely still think that the Chiefs are the team to beat in the AFC, and I think they should and probably will come out of the AFC to go to the Super Bowl. But we will see. Should be interesting, right? To get in to the next game that was interesting last week, after a absolute demolishment of the Washington football team the week before, 56-14. The Cowboys came out and lost to the Cardinals 25-22.
Frauds.
What's up?
They're frauds.
Frauds. I was actually about to say something like that, but going into the playoffs, like I just can't see the Cowboys doing anything. I just know they're gonna choke. They're that type of franchise, and I just know they're gonna take an early L. Maybe not first round, but they're not making it to the NFC Championship game, in my opinion. Definitely have a good roster, but they just can't seem to put it all together when it means most, and I think they won't piece it together for the playoffs. What do you guys think about this L to the Cardinals?
They didn't look good. They really didn't look good. Like for that much talent team, they just couldn't get it going offensively, which is a shock to me when you have like those talented players. Good signs is Zeke looks like somewhat back to normal, but he looks more explosive. But like generally, you lost Gallup, and you just nothing was going down the field offensively. Lamb and Cooper weren't getting involved enough. Like Schultz, I think, was your most targeted player in that game with like 11 targets. It was just surprising to me to see a team struggle that much offensively with that much talent. And for once, it's like I've been saying this for a long time, but Mike McCarthy is an awful coach and just gets carried by talent every year. We saw at the Packers, like literally Rodgers is just insane. Never did anything with Rodgers really. And I think it's going to be the same situation here, where he has an extremely talented team and does nothing in the playoffs because he stinks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys offense has been one of the most inconsistent offenses in the NFL this season. I mean, like they put up 9 against the Chiefs, 16 against the Broncos, 20 against the Vikings, and then like a couple weeks later they're putting up 56 against Washington, and then they're playing like shit against a struggling Cardinals team. But on the flip side of things, I do think that's a huge win for the Cardinals to get some momentum back going into the playoffs, because they were looking like early exit after having the best start to the NFL this season. So that's definitely a huge win to get some confidence back under your feet and just have some hope going into the playoffs.
True. And actually, what's interesting is if everything goes as planned this week, they will actually have a rematch in the first round of the playoffs. The Cardinals will play the Cowboys at AT&T Stadium again. Cowboys would have the 4 seed. Cardinals would have the 5th seed, I believe. Yeah. So that should be interesting, and there will be a lot of stuff going around about that game. That might be a game to watch in the first round of the playoffs. But to get in to the last game, actually, okay. Would you guys rather talk about the Colts and Raiders game or the Browns Steelers?
Colts Raiders.
Colts Raiders. I mean, obviously about the Steelers. Big Ben's final game, very emotional for me as a Steelers fan.
Final game at night.
But it was a terrible game, to be totally honest with you. So we'll talk about Colts Raiders. Obviously, the Raiders squeaked out a W with that last-second field goal. Interesting loss for the Colts at home. I didn't think we would be seeing that. But that puts the Raiders in a position to have a chance at the playoffs. What do you guys think?
This is another game that I picked the Raiders. You picked the Colts. So another game where I gained the game on those game picks.
You picked the Raiders?
I did because they have
You're
that
so
playoff.
smart. Oh my
They
gosh.
have that playoff drive, man. They won it. They won it bad, and that's why I'm considering picking them over the Chargers when we get to that game later in the podcast. Stay tuned for that. But I just think
I've picked against the Raiders in every single one that we picked with them in it, and it's worked for most of them except for this week.
Obviously, the Raiders are not contenders, but they have that hunger to get in the playoffs. They faced a lot of adversity this year. The Colts didn't have Wentz, but I mean, that really, right? They didn't have Wentz.
No, they did have Wentz.
They did.
He came back last second. I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons Shane actually picked the Raiders.
I still would have taken them with Wentz.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Because like I said, the Raiders just have that hunger, and the Colts didn't really need it as much. So, yeah.
All right, let's get into our. Or actually, Alex, did you have something to say about the game or no?
No, it's just a surprising game to me. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I didn't expect Raiders to win. I don't think the Raiders are that great of a football team. They have the worst O line in like NFL, but it was a good win for them. So that's it.
All right, to get into the game picks for this week, we'll start off in the NFC West. In the NFC West with the 49ers and the Rams. A divisional game with a lot of implications. The the 49ers, if they lose this game and the Saints win, they will be knocked out of the playoffs and the Saints will make it. And if the Rams hold the 2 seed as of right now, so this is a big game for both teams. You guys got in this one.
This is such a tough game because the Niners have the Rams number, but I mean, the Rams are looking decent recently. Let's see, it's in LA. I'm going to go with the Rams, but I feel like I'm going to regret that. But I just think the Rams are the better team. I don't think the Niners are going to sweep them on the season, even though the Niners do need this game more. Both teams are going to be playing, obviously, to win because the Rams could clinch that division, which is huge for them. But I'm going to go with the Rams. I think this is a really good game, though. I think Niners plus 4.5. Pretty good bet.
I got Niners. I don't like the Rams. I think they kind of suck against good teams. Stafford concerns me like week in and week out. Not concerns me, but like I expect more from him. You know, he's meant to be that guy, but I've always thought he was kind of overrated. But it's fine. I like the Niners sort of. I felt like they looked good last week, even though it was against the Texans. I feel like they have a very balanced team, and I feel like they always beat the Rams. I don't know why, but I feel like they always beat the Rams. So I'm gonna go Niners. Plus, like, I just don't like the Rams.
They do have a very good overall record against the Rams. But I'm actually going to take the Rams in this one.
Look at Joey home following my lead.
No, he's copying you because he doesn't want to lose the game.
No, I had the Rams coming into this, I swear.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
But I'm taking the Rams. They've been playing pretty good lately. And I think they're going to take this one against a sort of more depleted 49ers team, especially. I mean, either Trey Lance is starting or Jimmy G starting with a thumb problem. So either way, I think this is a big advantage spot for the Rams, and I think they're going to take the W in this one. All right, getting into the next game that we will cover for this week 18. The Saints are playing the Falcons. Also, some playoff implications if the 49ers lose. If the Saints win, they get in. Saints coming off a kind of crappy win last week against the Panthers. I'm pretty sure the final score is like 15-10. Two very crappy teams in my opinion. And the Falcons, Kyle Pitts has been having a good season. He's a Pro Bowler. They're going to be at home for this game, and their offense has been looking good. So, what do you guys think about this game?
I got. Oh, sorry. I'll go first, Shane. Sorry. I like the Falcons. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of forgot they existed. I feel like they're really a relevant, like decent team, which is surprising to me. But I don't. The Saints team is like kind of bummy. They're kind of the most bummy, most boring, like team in the NFL. Low key. I enjoyed them when Winston was the quarterback, but they kind of lost all flair when he went out. I don't want to watch them play football. And so for that reason, just because I don't like to watch them play, I'm going to go with the Falcons. Not analytical, I just don't like them.
I am also going to go with
wait, I'm going with the Falcons too. I was going to go with the Falcons too. You can go ahead, but I'm just saying.
All right. Well, I guess we're all picking the Falcons in this one, which is interesting because technically, record-wise, they were the worst team. But they've just been playing so bad lately, and the only thing that's been keeping them afloat, in my opinion, is their defense. Saints have one of the best defenses in the NFC as of right now. But that Falcons offense has been playing really good as of lately. And I think if they just get anything going in this game, they can easily win this game because that Saints offense has just been terrible and they cannot figure it out. They can't use Alvin Kamara correctly. He hasn't been putting up the numbers he should be and has been in the past. So I like the Falcons in this spot.
Obviously, I'm picking the Falcons as well, but I think Kamara did have a decent week last week, at least in their receiving game. He caught 5 balls for 68 yards and a touchdown. But like Joey said, they haven't been getting him going that well in the rushing game. He had another poor rushing day. I just don't trust Taysom Hill to win this game, and I think like the Falcons really want this as well. Obviously, the Saints are still playing for something, but Falcons are trying to eliminate them, division rivals. So I think both teams are going to come out playing hard, and I think Matt Ryan is trying to prove something. So I honestly see this being another great game, but it's in Atlanta, so I'm going to go with the Falcons.
All right. Next game we will pick from in Week 18 will be an AFC East divisional game. The Pats, Alex's Pats, are going to be going against the Dolphins, who just got absolutely destroyed by the Titans week before, and then the Patriots on the total opposite end of the spectrum. They scored 50 points last week against the Jaguars. Jaguars are obviously a terrible team, but 50 points for any team is pretty impressive. So, Patriots trying to get some motivation and some momentum moving towards the playoffs so that they can try to make a run. They need as high of a seed as they can get, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure they for sure would want to play a home game. That'd be so much better, in my opinion, for them, which isn't likely to happen as of right now. But if a couple things happen, then that could happen. What do you guys think about this game?
I mean, the Dolphins do kind of have the Pats number in years past. And in this year, they beat him week 1. But I'm going with the Pats. I'm not going to overthink it. The Patriots are the better team, obviously. So, I mean, Joey, I don't blame you if you also take the Pats here. The Dolphins just haven't been that impressive, even over their win streak. It wasn't against great teams. We saw what the Titans did to them last week. And, I mean, the Patriots are actually playing for something. The Dolphins technically aren't, so that's just another reason. So, yeah, I think the Patriots will take care of the Dolphins, and I don't really see this being a great game. I actually see the Patriots winning this by a big margin.
Mm. I'm also gonna go with the Pats in this game. Like I said before, I think they're gonna really want to gain some momentum right before the playoffs. Um, Bill Belichick wants this win. I mean, he wants every win, let's be honest, and he's going to get this one. Uh, Mac Jones, he's been playing pretty good lately. He needs to step it up if they want to make a run in the playoffs, though, against some of these better quarterbacks that they're going to have to play against. But I think they're going to come out here. The Dolphins did not look good last week. Tua did not look good. He's not going to look better against this past defense that has been playing pretty good all year. So I got the Patriots in this game.
I don't think I've ever been this nervous to play a crappy team after a huge win. But every time we play the Dolphins, we just manage to like screw ourselves and lose the game. Like I'm actually worried we're gonna do something bad and lose. But we're the better team. We should win this by a big score. Our defense is gonna hopefully terrorize Tua, put him under pressure a lot, make him make bad throws, which he can do by himself, but just encourage it. Hopefully go down the field, score like 3 touchdowns with Ramondre Stevenson and 3 touchdowns with Damian Harris. Simple things. So I got the Pats too. It should be an obvious choice, but it's not.
All right. No discrepancies in those last 2 games as we head into the 4th game that we have handpicked for this week. And is my Steelers away in Baltimore to play the Ravens. Both teams actually have a slight chance of making the playoffs. Ben could make the playoffs in his last run. There is a possibility if the Jags come out and beat the Colts somehow, then the winner of this game has a chance of making the playoffs. Actually, if the Steelers win, then they automatically get into the playoffs unless the Chargers and Raiders tie, which we'll talk about in the next game. But decently big game. I mean, I really don't see the Colts losing to the Jags, but either way, it's Ben's last game of his career, possibly. I mean, that last game at Heinz Field against the Browns, an awesome game, an awesome sight, very emotional for Steelers fans. I mean, he's been the quarterback for my team my whole life, so thank you, Ben. And then the Ravens, they've been totally depleted and they have just been losing game after game recently. But they actually somehow, after losing like 5 straight games, they still have a chance to make the playoffs. A couple things happen. I think Lamar Jackson is back this week. Not totally sure. This game's at Baltimore. What do you guys think?
I got Ravens win. Simple as that. No conversation needed. Big Ben's going to go out, be a big stinker. There you go.
Joey, I feel like we should pick the same thing for this game because we can't have 2 discrepancies or else we have a chance at tying on the season.
True.
Or we could carry our game picks over into the playoffs.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, we can have, or we could do that separate. Either way, we shall decide. But
what's your pick, Shane?
Where's this game? Is it?
It's in Baltimore.
Oh yeah, obviously, because I'm gonna go with the Ravens. Because they honestly looked decent last week against the Rams, and I think Big Ben is garbage. And I think also it's so meant to be that Big Ben finishes 8-1 because that just represents his whole career, just plain average.
And being fat, 881 pounds.
I guess, except for those 2 Super Bowls.
Where you got carried?
I'm going to go with the Steelers in this spot. Ben's going to have his final send-off in Baltimore. He's going to come out with a dub. The Ravens just have not looked great. I mean, the only thing that kind of concerns me is that Deontay Johnson, as of right now, is on the COVID list, which I really don't like because that's Ben's main target. But obviously those bombs to Claypool will still happen, which actually scares me even more because those a lot of times lead to picks. But screw it. I'm going to go with the Steelers in this spot. I'm not going to bet against them. They're coming out with the dub and having a chance to make the playoffs in Ben's last season. All right, to get into the last game, the Sunday night football game for this weekend, by far the most important and best game we will see this week. It's going to be the Chargers against the Raiders. Both teams are hungry. Raiders seemed very hungry last week in Indianapolis. Came out and beat the Colts. Chargers came out and they also won their game after the week before that. They had lost to the Texans, which was a terrible loss. Came out last week, put a good number on the Broncos, and they're playing another divisional game this week at home in LA, I believe. Is it at Raiders?
Um,
I'm not totally sure, to be totally honest.
let me check.
It would both be in LA, wouldn't it?
It's in Vegas.
Oh, it's in Vegas.
Ooh.
The
Hey,
Chargers are.
you don't really see crowds at those Vegas games. I mean, there's not much true fans there, but you might see more pop up. You might see more of those black face painted crazy Raiders fans there this week, along with maybe some random Chargers fans, even though there's not that many of them, it seems like, because every time the Steelers play them, they totally outnumber them in the crowd. But this game is obviously to make the playoffs. Whoever wins this game gets in, except if the Jaguars beat the Colts, there is a possibility that they could have a kneel off and they could tie
stop,
and both
stop.
make the playoffs.
This is the
Yes.
dumbest thing.
Like,
It's the
Could that
dumbest thing.
the game is 4 hours before.
It's the dumbest thing that people actually think. Two NFL head coaches, not one, but two.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna
drop their
happen. I'm
dignity.
just saying it's a possibility. It's crazy to think about.
Also, are they? Wait, am I tripping? Are they not in the same division?
They are.
Yeah, they are.
Why would they want their division rival to be in the playoffs with them? That makes no sense. They want to
They
beat
wanna
them,
be in the
and
playoffs?
they want to beat them, and they want to be in the playoffs alone. That's
You know,
how
it'd
it
be
works.
really funny if they had a kneel off and then like the final play.
I
of the
know
game,
that. I was thinking
like
about
someone
that. To be
fakes a
totally
kneel
honest.
and then just chucks it deep, and then like
That'd be so disrespectful.
that would
Hilarious.
that would go from the worst game of all time to the best game of all time just with that one play.
Facts.
Yeah. But I think they know what would happen if they did that. They would get a lot of fines and stuff like that. And that just
Would
I
that?
don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't
to be
think they
totally
would.
honest.
They would not get fines.
I'm pretty sure they would get fined for that.
For
No,
what?
You can't fine someone for playing football.
I mean, hey,
I guess you could
people
say,
get
like, it's
fined
like
for like
They'd get beat up.
coalition.
They'd get beat up next time they play their either if it's the Raiders against Chargers.
All right,
I
can we
mean,
make our picks? Like,
all right.
this
Anyway,
hypothetical stuff is
whoever wins
nonsense.
this game gets in the playoffs. Who you guys got? Actually, I'm gonna go first for this one because I have
pretty
it.
sure we're gonna pick differently, Joey.
Well, I am going with the LA Chargers. I am never picking the Raiders, and I'm sticking with that. I mean, I just love the Chargers in this spot. Justin Herbert is looking like a top 5 or 6 quarterback in the NFL. He just has a lot of weapons around him. Eckler's back. I don't think he was in that game against the Texans, actually. But they have him back. The Raiders' defense is just not it. Obviously, they beat the Raiders at home. It's going to be more of a challenge to beat them away. But I have faith in Staley and the Chargers, who actually have a pretty good defense also, to come out here and beat the Raiders in this game to go to the playoffs, because I think they're more deserving of the playoffs.
I'm torn right now if I'm gonna pick the Raiders or Chargers, because if I pick the Raiders, like I said, we could tie, and I don't want that to happen. And I feel like there's a good chance if I pick the Raiders, it happens, because I feel like there's a good chance.
I thought you just said you knew we were going to pick differently.
Well, yeah, because going into this week, I thought we were just gonna like say the same thing for the first 4, and then I would pick the Raiders, you would pick the Chargers, and that would be like the
It's
game.
not too late to change your Ravens Steelers pick if you want
No,
to.
because I really think the Ravens will win, but like
Shane, if you go 2-0, that's more of a statement.
I have to
Yeah.
go with the Raiders, so there's something on the line in that final game. I
Wow.
have to go Raiders. I think the Raiders, like I said, they're more playoff hungry. They have Derek Carr has way more experience than Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's so young. Obviously, the Chargers are the better team, the more talented team, but I'm gonna go with the Raiders because I think they just find a way to pull it off.
Hey, how about this, Shane? Shane, if we tie, what's the Monday Night Football game?
There is no Monday night.
There's no Monday night?
No.
Oh, never mind. Could have done like a spread.
Anyways,
pick, but
my
never
pick
mind.
is Chargers because I don't think the Raiders' O-line is great. I don't think they'll get the run game going. And if something goes wrong and they're behind, they got to throw, and they're predictable. No one stops the run. I think Chargers are the more talented team. Herbert will get it going early. A lot of incentive in this game in general. And I think the Chargers get my weekly score prediction that counts as +3 wins that I've never hit before.
Alex, if you hit the correct score, you win the game picks.
All right, 26-17 Chargers.
Interesting score. Interesting score.
Can you explain the score? How the Chargers get 26 points?
Oh, do you want me to break it down for you?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, I need to do math here. I didn't really think about this. So opening drive,
You don't need to
Chargers
give us every
TD.
drive.
All right.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Every
Okay,
scoring
so
play, like
it would
touchdown,
be
touchdown, field goal, blah, blah, blah.
it would be 2 TDs
Okay. 14,
and then all field goals.
14. So 4 field goals.
Yeah,
Wow.
and then
A lot
for
of
the
field
Raiders, it would be touchdown, field goal, field goal, field goal. This is the battle of the field goals.
Touchdown,
wow.
field goal, field
Wow.
goal, field goal. 7 field goals, only 3 touchdowns in this game.
And they're all going to be
Yeah.
made?
Yeah, no, there's gonna be more field goals attempted, but they're gonna make 7 field goals.
How
Oh,
many
wow.
field goals will be attempted? This matters.
10.
What?
You think they missed 3 field goals?
I think they go for a 62-yarder at the end of the game
Jesus.
for no reason.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, it's just crazy to me that the Raiders are even in this spot. I mean, props to Derek Carr for this season. I mean, they've gone through so much with multiple people getting arrested mid-season and a lot happening within the franchise. I mean, it's crazy that they're in this spot and have a chance to go to the playoffs. I think it would be a great story if they won this game and got to the playoffs. But they're not winning it because the Chargers are taking this dub. Unfortunately, this week, we do not think it is right to do fantasy love-hates again because most seasons are over unless your league is weird and you have the championship game this week when a lot of players just aren't playing because they already clinched. But those are our picks and our recap from week 17, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.